Hey everybody, welcome to Biters. This is Marnell, and this week I am joined by a special guest.
That's right, it's Phil. It's not Diane.
It is not. Diane is on a much needed vacation. Yeah, she's going to sit this one out. I've got Phil from Capes and Lunatics.
That's right.
We are podcasting season 4, episode 12 of Fear the Walking Dead week.
I got the meaning after I watched the episode, but before I watched it, I'm like, shouldn't this have been a title of one of the episodes from the first 3 seasons?
The entire first 3 seasons were weak.
Mm-hmm.
No, but I thought there was a couple of meanings. I mean, the filthy woman, which I absolutely hate that name. Like, I'm gonna call her like alternate universe Michonne, because like she's got the pet walkers and everything.
Michonne's mom.
Michonne's crazy mom. But so all the references that she made to people being weak and I'm not weak and you made them weak and you're not weak anymore. And she's just very set on this whole weakness trip. But then, of course, Althea became weak in the episode.
And plus, everyone's walkie had like a weak signal.
Right. And June was working through her weaknesses because she's so insecure about her place in the world at this point. So, yeah, I think the episode kind of everyone encompassed weakness in the episode. But yeah. So, do you have a rating for us? I know that you don't take notes or anything crazy like that.
Oh, no, this is good. I would say, I'd probably give it a 4.5 mile marker signs.
I gave it a 3.8 dead batteries.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I rated it a little bit lower. It was sort of a middle book episode. Yeah.
Sorry, I was gonna say I kind of liked it, but I'm wondering if they're setting up like a future status quo because we did not get any of our original cast in this episode.
Yeah, and we've been talking about how that's been a great thing that they've moved away from. I mean, they've completely flipped the cast. I mean, we only have 2 original characters left, and we didn't see those, even though we seem to be focusing. We're broken up at this point, and we seem to be focusing on one group at a time. I guess until we're all back together again, which is what we did in the beginning of the season. So it's sort of the same, they do that in Walking Dead Prime too, where they split everyone up and then they focus on a couple people or a group or 2. Mm-hmm. And then they bring everyone back together for something huge. And then somehow we all get split up again. But so our writer this episode, Di and I talked about last episode, Alex DeLille, major writer in this season of Fear the Walking Dead. And of course, our director was Coleman Domingo. Yeah. If you watched The Talking Dead, it was all Coleman all the time, which I think he did an amazing job. And if you have not seen it, go to his Twitter and find the sock puppet that he was talking about. It's hilarious. So I think he did a really great job directing the episode. And I think it was probably a great start for him that he directed an episode that he wasn't starring in. So we'll see if that comes up in the future. But so that was our writer-director.
And I believe... But I thought that wasn't there a thing on The Talking Dead, like what was that Inside the Dead thing? I think they said he's the first Walking Dead actor to actually direct for the series, for any of those series.
That doesn't surprise me that he's the first to direct, the first actor direct. But we've had a lot of people who have switched roles. Robert Kirkman was originally. What was he, a show director and then a showrunner, or showrunner then director, but they all just sort of kind of keep it within the not only just the Walking Dead universe, but the AMC universe as well. So they tend to promote from within, which I encourage. featured cast member was kind of, you and I didn't discuss this. I chose it to be Quinn because he died. I was really hoping, we all, Quinn came in and we were like, yay, we have a new character, like Althea says, I like new people. And then he died. But he may make an additional appearance because now he's the filthy woman's pet. So actor Charles Harrison, he doesn't have much on his IMDb profile, and he really needs to get a new picture for his IMDb profile. It's awful. It's from Swamp Shark, the movie Swamp Shark that he was in. The major acting credits for him seem to be Fear the Walking Dead and a couple episodes of Army Wives and a couple episodes of Graceland, both of which I do not watch. But he's big in the Tampa, Florida theater, and he enjoys the outdoors, hiking, just even jogging around the neighborhood, camping, going to the beach, that kind of thing. So not much about him, but the Walking Dead universe and any AMC show seems to be a huge catalyst for people's careers. So hopefully this gives him a big bump.
Yeah, maybe it's like the beginning of his career. There's not that many roles, but I don't know. I saw his character as like a plot. I don't want to say a plot device, but like he was supposed to be June. That's her name now, right? June is supposed to be like her right. Reflection and her coming to terms with stuff, and then boom, he's dead.
Yep. And Jen Elfman even said on Talking Dead that she made him watch her episodes that she, kind of identified his character with and, wanted him to go through the same thing. And then boom, he's dead. So poor Quinn. But yeah, I can't remember what I was going to. Oh, I loved that. Because we always joke about June having so many names. She was June and Laura and somebody else. I can't remember the other. She has so many names. And I love that he called her Cipro. I'm like, of any nickname now, like Momo or Jimbo, I like Cipro. Momo.
But no, I mean, I'm like hardcore into this podcast because the first thing I see Jenna Elfman sitting on the couch for Talking Dead, I'm like, oh, there's Thomas Amara's friend.
Yes. I love her. I love her as an actress and not only as the character in the show now. I'm so glad they went with her. I still see her as Dharma because I was a big Dharma and Greg fan. But like I said on the last episode, her and Jeff from the podcast also. Yeah. So what was your good?
What was my good?
Would you like me to go first?
Sure, go ahead.
Because I take notes and I have this all prepared. So I'm really glad that June and Althea made it back to Morgan because it's a little difficult a lot of times to have the individual or duo centric episodes, and I'm really glad they bounced back and forth this episode. We saw with Alicia and Charlie, they had their own entire episode, and that one kind of dragged. And then you had the Morgan one, but with Morgan, we introduced a bunch of new characters. So that wasn't just a Morgan-centric episode. So this episode, when they had June and Al, I'm glad it didn't just focus on June and Al, because even in the beginning, when they were going through June and Al being in the SWAT van and the little montage of them being there day after day, that was a little grinding. And so I'm glad we were able to get everyone back with Morgan and all of the new people together with them, and we'll go forward from there and hopefully find the rest of our group. But I'm just really glad that we're all getting back together. We've only got 4 episodes left for the season, so I'm thinking things are going to start ramping up. So that was my good.
I'd say my good part was probably June's whole journey in this episode. It was good. I like that she's kind of redeeming herself, and I don't know, just the way she was, you know, with the new guy before he got killed. I thought, I don't know, I'm afraid to throw this out. Is she becoming a moral compass almost?
She is. I think so. I think she's going to she's taking over kind of Madison's role, I think. Yeah. And so that's kind of a scary position. And to know that we've flipped a lot of our cast, you know, could this potentially be the takeover of the new characters?
Well, that's what I'm wondering, if they're setting her up to be like a leader. Because like I was saying before, I don't know if maybe the writing's on the wall with these original characters. Are they either going to die, or are people going to go with Morgan, or Alicia and Strand going to go with Morgan maybe to the regular Walking Dead?
Right. And so have you listened to the last episode of Biters?
Oh, yes, I did. Non-Bushmen of Alaska. Yes, I did.
Which they didn't, I don't think they beat us this week, but the numbers for the code did slip slightly from the week before. So
okay.
We're on a steady decline, but that's sort of to be expected. We're already confirmed for season 5, so no big deal there. Don't know about season 6. But what Dianne and I talked about in the last episode was that, and the showrunners for Walking Dead have not ruled it out, that we could potentially see additional crossover characters from Fear the Walking Dead or The Walking Dead. Mm-hmm. And Dianne and I talked about how we kind of feel that maybe one of the shows is going to end and they'll consolidate the people who want to continue on with the Walking Dead universe into one show. Yeah, so I could totally see that happening with June and Morgan and a couple of others ending up in Alexandria.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. I think some of them might they might be there for season 9, because who knows with time jumps and how this season ends. But I mean, we're getting at least one more season of Fear, so maybe, yeah. I mean, I'm sure Jenna Elfman commands a hefty, well, not a hefty, but a healthy salary, you know, so maybe they want her as the focus for the next season.
Right. More than, say, somebody like Quinn.
Yes.
So my bad was the van. I'm just, everything that had to do with the van. So one, like Chris Hardwick said on Talking Dead, like, quit leaving your keys in it. Like, quit leaving it unsecured altogether. Like, you should shut the door. Nobody should be able to get into it. Like, all your stuff's in there. I mean, even if they didn't steal the van, they could have looted it. And then also the whole truck chasing the SWAT van was a little like a dog chasing a car. If she caught up to it, what was she going to do when she got it? Like,
that's what I was thinking. I'm like, you can't ram that thing. You can't,
can't run it off the road. If he figured out how to work the guns, you were dead. Like, what are you doing?
As long as he doesn't open the door, it gets, wait you out. Yeah.
Right. And where did Quinn get diesel that they didn't have diesel? Is he just walking around with like a 1-gallon can of diesel on his back? Because
it was on the bus.
But he had it before that because he got to the bus.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had to chase him to the bus. And so somehow he had enough diesel to go, 20 miles maybe? And then he ran out of diesel. But he just came upon a SWAT van and he happened to have diesel. So kind of everything surrounding the SWAT van, it was a little like, really? Okay, whatever. Yeah. There was a couple of other unbelievable things in the episode, which I will get to, but that was my bad. Did you have one?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of goes in the same direction as my bad. It's just Al's obsession with the van, which I understand. It's an impressive vehicle for the zombie apocalypse. It's high, it's armored, it's got the guns, but I mean, she treats that thing like it's her lover. She's like, oh, we gotta get that van back.
So I kind of get the whole, she's got to get because, I mean, one, it's her home. It's where those tapes are, which the tapes seem to be the big thing. But, it's I almost see it like kind of as her child or her pet or, you know, like her lover. Like it's been there since the beginning with her, as far as we know.
I understand, but it's not a living thing.
Right. And that was June's point is, you know, you have to move on. Like you're alive now and you can get to other people who are alive and going to help people, and, you know, and we could get the van back if we do this other thing, but she was so hyper focused on the dang van. Yeah.
And I mean, the obsession went so far, she lied about the medicine being on there, and then June almost killed somebody for medicine that wasn't even there.
Okay. One, I believed that there was medicine. Because why wouldn't you? If she has everything in that van, like, of course she's got medicine, you know? Like
unless she ran out.
Yeah, totally believable lie. And I'm kind of not surprised that she lied. But yes, as June, I would be angry and disappointed that she lied to me and risked my life and also risked me killing another person for the van. Not even like the van with antibiotics in it, just the van. You know, I would have gone out there for the van and antibiotics, but if it was just the van, no. Like, my mission is to get you well and get us to Morgan. So, yeah, I agree. The van is a character that needs to die soon. It's been a plot device and it's done its job, and now it just needs to go.
That sounds like a season finale type thing, like how they lost the RV at the season finale of season 2 of Walking Dead.
How'd they lose the RV?
Remember that it was on the farm and everything was like on fire and zombies were everywhere.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
And it got overrun with zombies. Yeah.
Yeah. I was also thinking of the U-Haul truck in season 3 or 4 of The Walking Dead. The U-Haul full of supplies that Daryl and when they were first met Jesus, Daryl and Rick, it goes just into a big old pond and just gets submerged. And yeah, I think we need to drown the swap vehicle.
Especially if we're gonna have that semi for a while.
That's right. We are on semi. Speaking of, well, we'll get to it. Speaking of semis, don't go there. I was not being dirty until Phil went dirty.
I didn't say anything. Pervert.
Phil and I, for those listening at home, Phil and I are doing this via Google Hangouts. You can go see it on his Capes and Lunatics YouTube channel if you want to watch us make funny faces at each other, which Phil just did, which is why I giggled when I said semi, because I meant semi-truck, and Phil took it someplace else. So, ugly. Not Phil. Ugly is like, what was your ugly? Mine was the filthy lady. Like,
yes.
And a good ugly. We haven't had a big bad in a few seasons that's on the same level as the Saviors or Negan or even the Governor. But this lady, like, I kind of thought maybe give her a chance. Like, she looks bad, but maybe, yeah, and she's got a crazy walker pet or whatever. But she's poisoning water.
Mm-hmm.
Like, nothing good can come of her at this point, right?
She killed, is his face, Owen?
Quinn,
yes.
Quinn, yeah.
Quinn, yes.
And Purvis.
Yes.
Do we believe that Purvis was the original owner of the semi-truck?
I'm thinking, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of think, because there's been a couple of things that have been said that have eluded me to believe that Purvis was the original driver of the truck. Something about, she said this episode, something about you made them weak, and it was something about the boxes, and so I kind of think he was the person who was dropping the boxes at the mile markers at the 4 at the end. And so, yeah, she killed the good guy, and now she's also poisoning people's water in these supply boxes. So, yeah, I'm kind of going to walk back I think she might be kind of good, just crazy. No, she's bad.
No, because I think with every other, like, Walking Dead villain, most of them have, like, at least some sanity. Yeah, no, this is like a Batman villain. She's completely not.
Yeah, you know, she's not,
you're not gonna be able to reason with her. She's completely insane.
No, because I mean, even the governor with his fish tanks full of walker heads and his daughter chained up in the closet, his walker daughter, he still like, you know, wanted to help people and do some good and did chili cookouts. And no, this lady is off the rails.
All those guys, you could like bow down and like, he's like, if you kiss the ring or whatever, they're gonna let you live. This one, you could do everything she said and she still might kill you.
Yeah, yeah. If she, like, if in her crazy mind you're weak, then she's gonna kill you and make her her new walker pet. Yeah. Which did you notice what she's using to lead her walker pets around? It's one of those loops that dog catchers use.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, well, that works. Because she's not doing what Michonne did, where she disarticulates the jaw and then severs the arms. So she's got to be able to keep them away from her, whereas Michonne could have them on chains because they weren't going to hurt her. But, yeah,
and now
interesting.
Now she has the van.
And now she has the van. So, there have been 2 articles. We're now into rotting potpourri, I believe, unless you have any more ugly to contribute.
No, my ugly was that woman good, and like, I don't know, kind of the bad was like Morgan should have known she was nuts. Momo.
You know, though, having been kind of in the weeds of craziness himself, who's he to judge? Yeah.
True.
Yeah, you caught me on a dehydrated day. I'm going to get some water and then I'll be sane. Or I'll get some wine, which I have my giant wine glass here.
Holy crap, that, for people who can't see it, that glass is almost as big as her head.
It is. It is. So there was a really good article, and then there was a really bad article by Uprocks. The really good article had a really good fan theory about the filthy woman and her being our big bad, and who else may be involved in being the bad guy this season. And I'm going to make you all go read the Uprocks article about it. I'm not going to give it away if you don't want to know, but it does, and this might give it away, it does involve the filthy lady getting a hold of the van. Yeah. So, yeah, they've alluded, the showrunners have alluded to kind of the filthy lady knows more about the people in the Walking Dead, the Fear the Walking Dead world, than even they know about themselves. So kind of thinking what the van contains may go towards that. But the other article by Uprocks, they were talking about the radios this episode, and how last episode Morgan was able to talk to the filthy lady, you know, who's hundreds of miles away, with these radios, and how they couldn't even talk to each other less than 50 miles away this episode. Well, I have a bone to pick with them in that the radios that they were using in the truck stops and in the trucks, because even the filthy lady on her dash, they were single sideband radios.
Yeah.
And yeah, and so they're going to pick up a lot more frequencies, and they're going to pick up stuff from further away. The handhelds aren't. No. And so they kind of tried to catch, the Uprocks tried to kind of catch a little bit of a little bit of something, and they didn't do their research on radios.
Because those other ones probably have bigger antennas, you know, better power supplies. Yeah, they're gonna be more powerful. The trucks are gonna have whip antennas on their mirrors, and the ones at the truck stops are gonna have base antennas, and yeah, the handheld ones aren't gonna do crap. You're right about that, but there are different kinds of radios, and I mean, even getting up to ham radios, where you're gonna get VHF and UHF and all of the other. There's 2 other things that I can't think of, but yeah, you can pick up radio signals from like around the world. It's okay. Like, there's different radios, and they are using different radios. So don't call them out on that unless you're doing your research. So
that was just my little bone to pick with Up Rocks. But go read the article about the filthy lady on there.
Oh, but not to change the subject too much, but I do
go right ahead. We are in writing potpourri.
All right. Well, I do agree with you. I did notice the same thing you mentioned last episode about the different voice announcer for the Walking Dead stuff.
It's so weird.
Yeah, because I remember hearing it, and I like turned to my wife. I was like, wait a minute, that's a different guy. I'm like, what are they trying to pull here?
Yeah, it's like the let's get ready to rumble guy at the beginning of boxing matches or wrestling matches or whatever. Like
it's not like not as deep of a voice, and it's like,
but it's like changing that, or it's like changing the voices on the beginning of trailers, and like there's just voices that you identify with, and all of a sudden we've changed it, and I kind of am curious to know what happened to the original guy with the deeper voice, the gravelier voice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very weird. I thought for one episode it was just going to be a one-off. Maybe the guy was sick or I don't know. Like, but this has been like 3 or 4 episodes now where the announcer's changed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very weird.
And also the other thing, since we're here, is like watching Talking Dead. Have you kind of caught that, like, I don't know, Chris Hardwick's trying to be business as usual, but I guess after his recent troubles, he's trying not to go too over the top, like funny or like, sometimes he'd be like, "Hey, what are you talking about?" And now he's just like, "Okay, yeah."
Well, and there was a joke last on the one after the code. There was some very sexual innuendo jokes like we did just now with the semi trucks. I don't remember what it was about, but he was just sort of like staying quiet and nodding his head. He's basically like, I will let this play out with the 3 people on the couch, but I'm not going to make any additions to this conversation, and we will move on very quickly from it. Yes.
Yeah. So I remember back in the day him telling people, get off my junk. And now it's just like, no sexual innuendo, nice, even tone, doesn't get too high.
He is on his best behavior.
Yes.
Yeah. This episode, with the whole Coleman Domingo director puppet, Chris made the comment, talking puppets. I would love to see that. Yeah. Talking Dead with sock puppets. That would be amazing. I'm all for that.
Which actor would you like to see portrayed as sock puppets?
Well, I did go see Happy Time Murders last week.
Oh yeah, was that good?
Yeah, no, It was awful. It was one of those where they put all of the funny stuff in the trailer, and it was a lot more serious than I expected it to be. It was funny and silly, and I'm glad I didn't pay full price to go see it because it was the last night it was going to be here, so it's discount. So, yeah, it was not great. All the funny stuff was in the trailer. If you just go watch the trailer for it, you'll get the movie. But yeah.
But no, you know who I want to see as sock puppets? All those British people, sock puppets with British accents. Oh yes, this scene. When we go out to this scene,
British and Australian accents. Yeah, that's funny.
Momo, Rick, all of them.
Momo, I can't believe he doesn't like Momo. I love it. I also liked my quip last episode. We're not in Kansas anymore, Momo.
And I love he goes for his walk, and they're like, "Well, what are we supposed to do?" She's like, "Oh, I guess we're tailgating." Tailgating,
yep. when he's basically like, "Can you not call me that?" And she's like, "No, I like it too much." Yeah, I love him. And I'm still curious as to how Wendell is getting in and out of the truck.
Yeah.
That can't be easy. I mean, like, legitimately, because the actor is in a wheelchair. Daryl Chill Mitchell is in a wheelchair. And then just in the show, that he has to be, they have to be helping him. I don't think there's a lift or anything in the truck. So I kind of would like to see that addressed, because it kind of sounds like him and his sister, Sarah, have been, doing this for a while. And what's funny is there was a little bit of a thing in this episode where they did allude to, they do have, they referred to Dad, a car rides with Dad. And so they legitimately could be siblings, even if they're adopted siblings or foster siblings or,
half.
Half siblings. So that's going to be interesting to see that play out. That, she has, they have been together this entire time for the apocalypse, taking care of each other. And so, see, originally we thought they were bad, but they're not so far, maybe.
And just like switch out the guy who makes the beer with someone who makes wine, and that would be like your partner in the zombie apocalypse, right?
Oh, I was drinking beer earlier.
Oh, were you?
Yeah. I switched to wine for the show, just so that I could show you my giant glass. Yeah. Any alcohol, really. Didn't alcohol start as a way to purify water? Which is something that we're going to need if Crazy Chick is going to be contaminating all the water.
Oh, yeah.
Which, by the way, so when they were doing the montage of Al and June in the truck, there's a scene where they're taking a drink of water, and June has like a canteen that she's drinking out of. And then they show Al unscrew the lid of a bottle of water. And so I'm wondering if that's one of the bottles of water from one of the boxes that the filthy woman contaminated, and that's what made Al sick.
Well, I didn't think of that beforehand, but like at the end when they catch up with Momo and everyone in the truck, and he's like handing them water, and I think I saw like Al took a swig of some water they gave her. I'm wondering if now we're gonna see it because.
Well, that water's not contaminated yet. That just came from the back of the truck. She's contaminating the boxes on the side of the road.
Yeah.
And Althea did come across a box on the side of the road. And I don't know if they took any water out of it, but they were spending days in those trucks where they were just, walking as far as they could go and then back to the truck. So reason stands that they can't, at some point they've come across one of those boxes, taken water out of it. And June just happened to be drinking out of a canteen that was there, and Althea chose to drink the water from the boxes. That's what made her sick. And yeah, so and I caught that on the rewatch that Al was drinking out of a bottle of water and June was drinking out of a canteen, and Al was the one that got sick. So yeah, what do you think's behind that? Why do you think she wants to make people sick from drinking the water?
Because if you're strong, you'll live through it. But if you're weak, you'll die.
Or if you have access to Augmentin or Cipro. Which, by the way, apparently even expired antibiotics, you only need to take 2, and in like an hour, you're fine. Right?
Yeah.
That was my other kind of like the van, like, really, you're going to take 2 antibiotics and you're going to be fine. Expired, probably years expired antibiotics, and you're going to be fine in 2 hours.
Oh, well, if we go that far, I mean, most of these vehicles shouldn't be starting up after all this time. And
oh, I know. Yeah, gas isn't going to fire. Spark plugs aren't going to go. And I did like how they got a flat from hitting a bump in the road, because that's legit. I mean, rubber breaks down over time, and all of these vehicles should start getting flat tires at some point. So
either that, or just like even this year, a lot of states have had bad potholes. I mean,
yeah.
No one's maintaining these roads. You hit a bad pothole, it's going to pop your tire.
Domino's is. Have you seen their new ad campaign?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You can call Domino's and they will come out and fix the road so that your pizza arrives home safely.
But speaking of changing the tire, that was like, I think one of the most badass kills that we've seen is Al dropping the car on the walker's head.
That was pretty cool. After
it broke its own leg off to come get her.
I loved that. And I love to know that it's the stuff that they used to stick the walker in the quote unquote mud was the milkshake thickener because that's the same stuff on Alien. The movie Alien, that like stuff that drips down off the alien, that's milkshake thickener.
Ugh.
Like, I think that is so funny that they use that so much in movies and TVs, and it's something that like people drink on a daily basis. Like,
hey, if it looks good on camera, hey.
Oh God, the stuff we put in our bodies. As I'm taking a huge swig of wine.
Well, I was gonna say I'd rather be stuck if he's like actors probably stuck for hours in there. I'd rather be stuck in like milkshake thickener rather than like some chemicals they mix together to make something like that.
I don't know what is in the milkshake thickener.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's like any sort of sugar or anything, but I'm just like, oh man, imagine like being knee deep in that crud for hours shooting during the day on a hot day.
Hot day.
Yeah, and if there's anything that's going to attract flies, that's going to be awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of walkers and attracting flies, so the walker that they take out of the truck, and they're driving down the road, and June's trying to get people on the radio, and Althea's like, well, why don't you roll down the window? And I'm like, why wouldn't you have the windows rolled down anyway? There's been a walker trapped in that truck for probably months. Got to smell. Like, I can't even stand like too much of my dog's breath in my car, and I roll down the windows, Yeah,
but at this point, years into it, I'm sure everything probably smells like Walker by now.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, everything smells like decomp.
You probably you can't tell anymore. It's probably no. it probably nothing hits your nose like that unless it's like, wait, it smells good. What?
It smells like milkshakes.
And where's Al getting all her food? Because she was talking about her blood sugar being down. She's like, oh, it's been a while since I
think she was
haven't had a full belly.
I think she was sort of using that as a beard for covering for being so sick. Yeah, I don't think she wanted to leave the van. And then when she left the van, I think it was just kind of like, oh, I'm not that sick. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And then she started vomiting, and we realized that she had like Giardia or something.
But seriously, if she's that obsessed with that van, why wouldn't you take the keys with you whenever you, even if you're like 10 feet away from that truck, I'd be taking the keys with me.
Well, and she did in the beginning because every time somebody tried to take the keys from her, she'd give her the Foot Locker keys. Mm-hmm. And so they'd get in the truck and they'd be like, these aren't the keys. And she'd be like, I know, So, like, she's totally lost her edge. I don't know if it's the influence of being around other people or what, because she doesn't seem to be very social. We seem to be getting her backstory in bits and pieces. So I kind of think that those tapes are super important to her, and she talked about, people that she loved are on those tapes. So it'll be interesting in the future to see how her story unravels.
Yeah, like I said, I have this feeling that they're going to take her and June and probably the truck crew and maybe make them the core group for next season when everyone else goes to Alexandria or dies.
You don't think Alicia and Strand, our two only remaining cast members, will be there?
I don't know. Like I said, I don't think they might either get killed. One or both of them may get killed or go to Alexandria.
Yeah, I could see it.
Because unlike the regular series, I don't think most people I don't think have that high of an opinion of the first couple seasons that they're like, oh, I want these characters to stay, and especially if they're on the other show, their fans are still going to get them.
Well, and these were the two characters where I had my problems with Alicia in the beginning because she was a stupid teenager, radioing other stupid what she thought was stupid teenagers on a boat, but turned out to be pirates. And then, of course, Strand has always been is he good? Is he bad? Sometimes he's good. Sometimes he's in it for himself, which isn't necessarily bad, but whatever. Mm-hmm. So they've been the two most interesting characters as far as I'm concerned. So I would love to see them continue, but they also seem to be the two people that seem to have careers that are taking off. I mean, Alicia Debnam Carey has a lot of movies that are coming out soon, and so does Coleman Domingo. And it looks like Coleman Domingo is going to start to direct more, so he could go behind the camera on AMC.
True. And I mean, they are rising stars, and on that main series, we're losing a couple of our main people, so.
Right. It looks like Daryl Dixon's going to be our main guy for a while. He's demanding a pretty hefty paycheck, and he got something that he's wanted for quite a while. The rumors have been confirmed, Whisperer's Corner, that Daryl Dixon will be getting a companion in season 9.
Oh.
He's getting a dog. Yay!
Oh, really?
Yep. So Daryl Dixon will have a canine companion for season 9. And of course, Diane's wish comes true, and there will be more horses on the show. So,
yeah. I mean, if they follow the comic, eventually they're all going to go horses, because most of these cars aren't going to be runnings. Right.
Which I'm so glad, because that's been one of my main things for a while is, I leave my snowblower or my lawnmower in the shed for half the year, and if I haven't drained it of its gas, or if I haven't put any treatment in the engine, it doesn't fire up, and that's like 6 months. This has been 3-4 years into the apocalypse.
Yeah, that's like here. If you leave your lawnmower in the cold garage for the winter months, a lot of times it doesn't start up.
Yep. So that's been one of my main gripes. So I'm kind of glad they're moving to horses, and I'm glad that Daryl's finally getting a buddy.
Have they mentioned anything about Jeffrey Dean Morgan? I would think with Andrew Lincoln leaving, they would offer him a bigger pay to stay.
I don't know, because I don't know what they're gonna do with the Negan character. They
haven't. I don't think I've seen anything about that.
No, I mean, my thing was I thought they can't go the way of the comic book, where they're gonna keep him in Alexandria. They're gonna have to kill Negan, because Jeffrey Dean Morgan's, a bigger name actor. He's gonna, not want to do a lot of work, or keep coming back to set, or, so they're gonna have to kill him. No, they didn't, and so they are gonna go, as far as we know, the comic book storyline where Negan is going to continue to be in Alexandria, and he's going to continue to have a role in The Walking Dead. So. Yeah, it'll be interesting if they try and turn him good and have him take over, or if it's going to be Daryl, because, of course, it's not going to be Maggie. It's going to have to be Daryl or Michonne, or maybe someone from Fear the Walking Dead will cross over and take over.
Yeah. See Strand button heads with some people.
That would be interesting. Yeah.
And Morgan having to keep telling everyone he's a nice guy. No. I know how he gets sometimes. But no, he's decent. He's basically a decent guy. Yeah.
You got to give him a chance.
Momo.
So, did you have anything else?
I don't believe so.
Yeah, I think that was all that I had. Like I said, this episode was a little bit of a middle book. We have 4 episodes left, so we are ramping up to the season finale. And then season premiere of Walking Dead Prime will be on October 7th.
Oh, yes. Earlier than usual, yes.
Yeah, like by 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah. So, thank you for joining us, Phil. Where can Biters fans find you?
Well, thank you, the royal us. Thank you for joining us. Us
as in the Biters crew.
I know. Thank you. Well, if anyone wants to, you can always check me out and my friends on the Capes and Lunatics and the Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks. And as Marnell said, we have a YouTube channel where you can find this video, so you can see the gigantic glass of wine Marnell has. I don't want to say it's huge, but it has its own gravitational pull.
And it pulls me right in.
Oh, I knew that was coming.
Ah, we're so clever.
But yes, thank you for having me. I always enjoy talking to you.
Yeah, like I said last week, fresh meat for the grinder is always good.
Okay, Terminus.
So you can find Biters at facebook.com/Biters or on Twitter, Biters. And you can like us, give us a follow, Southgate Media Group, patreon.com. Give us money, give us likes, share us. Every once in a while, I got to get a plug in there. But until then, take it
one
dead
day
at a time.
At a time.
See, we don't even try to sync up. We just
I know.
we go with it. But have a good week, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.